Well, it's the Daily Horizon View Show. Welcome, Investorholics. Today's date is the 11th of the 10th, 2019. As always, we're looking at the top 5 for exchange traded funds on the ASX. Our spotlight today is PMGOLD, Gold Corp, Perth Mint. Should be a good little spotlight for those who are interested in gold, or the gold bugs among us, I should say. Stick around or skip to the end and have a look at that one.
We are here to crack your financial sky. We want to give you information and demystify the world of finances.
Okay, everyone, let's dive right into the top 5 ETFs by percentage rising. Gear in the number 1 position, QR, OOO, QCB, and BNKS in the 5th position. So Gear is a beta shares geared Australian equity fund. That one's hedged. That one tracks the S&P ASX 200, market cap of roughly $80 million, a dividend yield of roughly 5%. Today we saw a rise of 2.89%, which equates to 73 cents on not too bad volume for a medium-sized sort of ETF of 10,400 shares traded. Okay, let's dive right into the top 5 ETFs by percentage falls. PMAG in number 1 spot there, PMGOLD, VAP, MNRS, and BEAR rounds out the top 5. So PMAG is the ETF Securities Physical Silver ETF, and that one is backed by physical silver allocated and held in HSBC Bank in America. That one has a market cap of roughly $60 million. We saw a fall today of 1.93%, which equates to 49 cents on a reasonable volume for this size ETF of 11,800 shares traded. The top 5 ETFs by dollar rise. SPY or SPY in the number 1 position, IHVV rocks up number 2, IVV number 3, IJH in the 4th position, and VTS rounds out the top 5. So SPY is the State Street Spider S&P 500 ETF, and that one tracks the S&P 500 index in the States. It's a pretty small ETF, roughly $31 million market cap. Dividend yield is roughly 1.76%. We saw a rise today of $6.07, which equates to 1.41% on a very low volume of trades. We saw 62 shares traded. Top 5 ETFs by dollar fall. We're looking at ETPMPM, VAP, ILB, IGB, and rounding out the top 5 is IAF. So ETPMPM is the ETF Securities Physical Precious Metal Basket, and that one is backed by physical precious metals held in the HSBC Bank in the States. That's a pretty small one, market cap of roughly $7.8 million. We saw a fall of $1.41, which equates to 0.8% fall. On pretty low volume, we saw 236 shares traded. Top 5 ETFs by number of trades. We're looking at VAP, VAS, STW, VHY, and BGS. So VAP is the Vanguard Property Securities Index ETF, and that one has a market cap of roughly $1.3 billion. Dividend yields around the 5% mark. Morningstar give this ETF a gold rating, which is effectively 5 out of 5 stars, so very highly rated ETF, VAP. We saw 340 trades today. On the downside, we saw a drop in the share price of $1.18 or 1.29%, I should say. Top 5 ETFs by volume. We're looking at AAA as always, highly traded one. IOZ, STW, VAS, and USD rounds at the top 5. So AAA is the Beta Shares Australia High Interest Cash ETF. That one generates income by having deposits in Australian banks such as ANZ, CBA, NAB and the like. That one has a market cap of roughly $1.7 billion. You're looking at a dividend yield of about 1.9%, I think. So it's dropped to below 2% since the last interest rate reduction in Australia. So that Morningstar gives that one a neutral rating. Volume wise, we saw 311,900 shares traded, pretty much flat, so no change in the share price for that one. Top 5 for value, let's have a look at what we can see here. AAA, VAS, STW, and VAP, finally VSO. So we probably don't need to go over AAA again. We saw pretty much kind of a lowish day in the market, looking at the volumes and also the value here. $15.6 million traded in AAA, so that's on the lower side. Okay, let's dive right into the spotlight today. It's PMGOLD. This ETF is issued by Gold Corp or the Perth Mint in Australia. Investment objective. PMGOLD is a right to gold created by the Perth Mint, which gives investors the ability to purchase government-backed gold via the Australian Stock Exchange, ASX. The price of gold is intended to track the international spot price of gold in Australian dollars. Why would we bother? Gold price has risen by an average of more than 8% per annum over the past 15 years, so decent capital appreciation. Gold has typically performed strongly when other markets have declined and has traditionally helped balance investment portfolios, so it's like a hedge against volatility, I suppose. Gold is a well-recognised hedge against inflation, historically helping to protect investors' purchasing power over the medium to long term. Believe whatever you want to believe. I'm not a huge backer of gold, but anyway, gold has typically performed strongly in periods of financial market stress, making it a simple and effective hedge against market or geopolitical event risk. So I'll have a look at that further on. So we saw a closeout today at $22.11, market cap of $7.1 billion. So that's one of the larger ETFs in the Australian market. Management fee of 0.15%, quite possibly could be on the higher side just for storing gold. Something to consider. Each PMGOLD unit represents an ownership of 1/100th of a troy ounce of gold. PMGOLD is fully backed by physical gold bullion held by the Perth Mint, with metals stored on investors' behalf guaranteed by the Government of Western Australia. PMGOLD units can be redeemed for physical gold by the Perth Mint. So if you want to get in your car and drive down there and pick up your gold, you can after you've bought it. PMGOLD may suit investors who prefer to manage their gold investments with their stock market account, along with their other investments and other holdings or whatever. Some experts suggest holding between 1 to 5% of gold. The main reason to own gold is that it is uncorrelated to most other asset classes, and that could help to reduce some risk in your overall portfolio. So effectively, like what we touched on in the previous slide, it's a hedge against bad times, I suppose. For our research, you should also have a look at ASX, a list on the ASX is gold, and also QAU. So those are both physical gold ETFs as well. So look at the management costs and look at how it's set up. if you're really into a gold bug and actually physically want to buy some ETFs for gold. Okay, let's have a look at the chart. As we mentioned before, you've been getting about 8% per annum. So if you started out with $500 by the look of it here on the graph, you would be, your investment would be worth about $1,800 roughly. According to this graph, it looks like it's a little bit out of date since they updated it last. I couldn't really find a lot more updated information on that, but you know, overall, as I mentioned before, 8%. Again, in the last 15 years, 8.27%. Since inception, 7.73%. So I mean, that's probably broadly in line with the market. And the one thing that you don't get with gold is you don't get dividends. So you know, if this was paying the 2 or 3%, if this was another ETF or another dividend paying stock, they're typically paying 3 or 4% dividends. So I mean, that bumps up your total returns, and that's one reason why gold might not actually be such a great investment for overall long-term growth of your portfolio, and also putting money back in your pocket to then reinvest into other assets. Something to think about. For me, you know, holding a little bit of gold, I don't think is a bad idea, but I wouldn't hold any more than 5% in your portfolio, as suggested on the previous slide. I just think that, you know, the returns over the long term just don't justify it. G'day valueholics. So just a quick reminder, the principal purpose of this post is to provide factual information and not provide financial product advice. Additionally, the information provided is not intended to provide any recommendation or opinion about any financial product. So what I'm saying is here, I don't understand your financial situation, and if you are unsure about your own personal finances, listen along to my videos a bit more, but it's always up to you guys, and if you need additional help, you should seek advice from a financial advisor. I'm not a financial advisor. This is just what I do in my spare time. I research, I look at these things and try to educate myself so I can make these decisions for myself effectively. So if you're not that confident yet, you definitely make sure you need to get some additional advice from a licensed financial provider. Thanks for hanging around to the end of the video, valueholics. So my mission is to give you guys the tools, knowledge and confidence to go out there and take control of your own finances. I want to crack your financial sky. I think we can do that together. So we want to educate you guys, build your confidence, and most of all, just want to have a bit of fun, because these things can actually be fun. So learning about your finances can be quite rewarding. Yeah, I actually quite enjoy what I do. It's a pleasure to bring it to you. So if you've got some spare second, give us a thumbs up or subscribe even, because that'd be fantastic to help me out with the YouTube algorithm. Pretty much primarily, you know, even if you don't do that, I just want to make sure I'm giving you guys some value. So have a great day, guys. Invest on.